How's it going, everybody? My name is Ender, and welcome to episode number 23 of our single-player Minecraft Let's Play. Today I have a lot to show you. I have done a lot of work off camera, and I have a couple of cool things planned that I'm excited to get going on. First, you'll notice that I've done some mining off camera because I have nearly 30 levels of XP, so we will be back to visit this bad boy here in just a short while. First, let's jump down. And you'll see the work that I've been doing aside from the ridiculous amount of caving that I've done. I'm going to get to that in a minute. First, I want to show you kind of the haul that we got from all the caving that I did. I was cooking up some steak. So now we have 40 blocks of iron and then some. It's a crazy amount. I probably got close to 3 stacks just off my short little half-hour caving session. Also, we have nearly a stack of gold ingots now, which is pretty neat. I don't really have too much of a use for them at the moment, but I'm sure something will come up later on in the series. Did not find any diamonds, found a half a stack of lapis, and then a pretty good deal of coal as well. But it was overall pretty good. A lot of iron. I was very surprised at how much iron I had. But we are going to be doing a level 30 enchantment. I have my eyes set on a particular vein of coal that I'd like to try and get at today without dying. I'm going to show you guys where it is. But yeah, obviously I've been working on the pathway, and that's going to lead into our viewer suggestion today in just a moment. Anyways, I have my eyes set on that vein of coal for starters. So it's a little bit below that ridge. Now I would like to do this without dying, obviously. That's always the goal. Let's see, we need to go down a bit, so let's start getting a staircase down. I'd like to do this, and hopefully this will get us close to level 30, if not there. It just depends on how far back the vein itself goes, but it always is kind of unfortunate because every time I start one of these episodes, especially one where I've done... Oh, that was bad. That was close. That was not kind of sticking with the whole not dying theme, but luckily it was not a far enough drop to kill me. Otherwise, I quite honestly would have rage quit because I cannot tell you guys how many times I've fallen in this ravine. It's just been notorious for giving me bad situations. Back to what I was saying, I couldn't tell you how many times that I start off the episode after doing a long mining trip and I'm left with 29 levels, and then I'm forced to find this last infamous 30th level on camera with you guys. So I'm sorry that you have to sit through and watch me mine a couple of veins of coal. I hope you understand that it will hopefully lead to good fortune, and no pun intended, seeing how you would like a Fortune 3 pick. That would just be absolutely incredible if that could happen. I'm not counting on it though, because it usually takes a lot of tries in my past experience to actually get a Fortune 3 pick. But if we do get one, it's pretty much smooth sailing from there because we can get up to 4 diamond ingots, or I don't know if you really call them ingots, but 4 diamonds per diamond ore block, which is obviously just incredible. So that's what we're going for here. But anyways, this will definitely get us to level 30. I'm almost positive this last vein here. But anyways, while I'm getting up this last piece, I wanted to mention something. In the last episode, I had told you guys that I was planning on selling my computer. I've actually changed my mind, which is something I do quite frequently, I'm finding out. But I've decided to stick with my computer, and instead I am going to be recording more console gameplay rather than trying to go out and buy a new PC. And that transitions nicely into the next thing I want to talk to you about. I actually sold my old Hauppauge. Now, what I mean by that is the original version of the Hauppauge HD PVR Gaming Edition. They now have a second one out, just so you know. The original one recorded through component cables, and it worked very well for the PS3 because I don't believe the PS3 supports full HDMI recording. But now that I've switched over to an Xbox, I've been actually already running my Xbox through an HDMI cable, which makes it just so much easier. There's so many less cords involved. But I was thinking of getting the new Hauppauge, the second edition, the HD PVR 2, for the simple fact that it records through HDMI, which I thought was all great. However, it's not as compatible as the first one was through Mac. With the first one, I bought an $80 software that allowed it to run on my Mac, and they are saying now that it is not compatible with the second one and that I have to go out and buy another $30 or $50 software to get this one to work, which I think is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion, but there's nothing that I can do about it because one person's opinion is not going to change how they run their company. Regardless, there is a new capture card out that everyone seems to be loving called the Elgato HD Game Capture. It's a little bit cheaper than the HD PVR2, and it's very small, very simple. It's just an HDMI in, an HDMI out, and then a USB plug into your computer. So it still records HDMI, which is awesome, and it's about $150. Now I was given $100 for my old capture card, my old HD PVR, so it actually works out pretty well, and I am going to be buying that sometime this week, and then I can start recording possibly some Far Cry 3, some Black Ops 2 again, perhaps some of the new Skyrim DLC since they weren't available for the PS3. But enough of my talking. What you guys want to see is me enchant this. So I usually don't do this, but let's just go with the first one here, and hopefully you all have your fingers crossed. Efficiency 4. Fantastic. I hope you can catch my hints of sarcasm there. I'm looking at you people who didn't cross your fingers. But regardless, I'm happy that we did a level 30 enchantment. Efficiency 4 is not bad. I mean, I'd rather get it with Unbreaking. That way it lasted longer. It'll mine fast, but that really doesn't help us that much. Regardless, it's still a diamond pick that will last longer than iron and that we can use just for, I guess, a general pick. I'm still waiting for that amazing Fortune 3 pick. I guess I'll just carry this on me because it'll end up being... It'll replace these once those break. But there we go. At least we did a level 30 enchantment. I'm happy about that. Now to move on to the pathway and the viewer suggestion for the day. I'm going to take a nap real quick. The viewer suggestion, I'm going to start off by saying, was sent in by a person on Twitter named AJ. I'm not going to do their last name, partly because I don't think I'll pronounce it right, and the other part is because I don't want to just give away their personal information. But let's go grab some supplies before we do anything, because I plan on working on this a lot today. So we're going to need a lot of this stuff. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of spruce planks, which is something that I kind of need a lot of. I gotta see, do I have spruce saplings? Oh, beautiful, I have tons of them. So we're gonna be planting this at the tree farm. It's kind of funny because he sent in, I'm assuming it's a he, correct me if I'm wrong, but AJ sent in 2 suggestions, and I'm actually going to be using both of them today. Now, I will take a screenshot of his suggestions and put them in here just as I promised. But anyways, I continued the path down, and I've been sticking with the same theme here, and I've been carrying along nicely. But his first suggestion was to plant different types of trees, which is I'm going to do as soon as we get over there, because I need this type of planks. Real quick, I'm actually going to see if we have some bone meal first. That way, maybe I can grow a couple that way. I can do a little bit of work on it on camera. Let's run in here and see what we've got. Hopefully we have at least a little decent supply. Oh yeah, we have plenty of bones. So let's do 9 of them. That should be plenty. That'll give us 27 bone meal, which is a lot of trees. 27 trees will give us plenty of logs. I definitely will not make you guys sit through 27 logs being broken down. But anyways, his second suggestion, which I thought was very interesting, and that I'm either going to do exactly or possibly elaborate on. We're going to carry this path along here. I am going to try to dodge this cave opening, so it's going to come along here and then go straight, and then start to go this way. And what he said to do, particularly for this ice little lake over here, was to treat it somewhat like an ocean. What he said to do was melt the ice and have a bridge going over it. But what perhaps I'm going to do is I am going to build the bridge going across here. However, I'm going to leave it frozen, and then maybe it'll look like, okay, during the summer, this is an ocean, and right now we're in winter. Obviously an endless winter, as it won't change, but it's in winter right now, and it's frozen over, but obviously you're not going to break the bridge down just because the ice froze over. Now, I know for a fact that I'm going to route the path over here and then do this bridge. However, I'm debating whether or not I want to make a bridge over this little lake, or if I'm just gonna move this a little bit to dodge the cave and then come straight across, which is probably what I'll do. I'll come straight across through here, make a left-hand turn, and then do the bridge over. That is the plan, and I think if done properly, it can look pretty darn amazing. I was thinking about it, and I think it'll look really, really awesome to get a nice bridge with supports going down into the lake, possibly even under the ice. I think it would look very, very good. So anyways, we are going to simply just break a couple of these. We're just going to grow them. I'm going to need you to move, sheep. I think I'm just going to shear you and then kill you. We're just going to plant a couple of these and use some bone meal. Most of you obviously know how this works, but we are going to need a little bit of this. Now, while I do this, I certainly will not make you guys... Oh, can those not grow? They must not be able to grow with that low of a clearance, I'm assuming. And I just wasted a pretty good deal of bone meal trying it out, but that's okay. We'll just move out of here. But I have a couple things to talk about before I go into a cutscene. I wanted to talk about possible new games, and I know that tends to frighten some of you, but don't worry, it won't be a crazy amount of them. And the other thing I want to talk about is a possible schedule. I'm going to probably be doing an official schedule video once I know exactly what my schedule is going to be. However, I do have an idea of it in mind, and I think I've been pretty much against a schedule the entire time I've been on this channel. However, I think now I'm really committed to it. I've been uploading almost daily as it is, and I think having a schedule that just allows you to know when videos are coming out will help you guys, you know, be able to plan when you're going to watch them, and it kind of helps with starting new games, because I realize that not all of you are going to like the new games I start, so perhaps you only want to see a certain type of game. So if you know what day that game is coming, you'll know which days to check the channels for the videos that you'd like to watch. So what I'm thinking of doing is probably doing this Minecraft Let's Play Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm really trying to transition to having this really be my main series. It's been my main series in my head, however, it doesn't always really seem like that. It seems to be the one series that gets pushed out of the way when I want to do other stuff. I want this to obviously, I want it to make it obvious that this is the main series on the channel. This is, you know, this is my own personal single player Let's Play, and Minecraft is the main game on my channel, so like this is kind of the most important series. Now that leaves Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now Sundays I'm going to dedicate to live streaming. I've been semi-faithful with getting that done. However, if I move to the schedule, I'd like to kind of make it a plan to stream every Sunday. So that leaves Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Now what I was thinking was Tuesdays and Thursdays at the moment will probably be the Waking Up series with me and Code. So that covers Monday through Friday as well as Sunday, and then Saturday is going to be my day probably to upload games that I want to upload, such as console games, such as maybe a Far Cry 3 Let's Play, games that I feel like you guys, not as many of you will really be into, because I understand that a lot of you are here for Minecraft, and I started this channel for Minecraft, and I started doing YouTube for Minecraft, and I'm totally content with making it the #1 game on my channel, and it will most likely always stay that way unless something drastic happens and maybe Mojang stops updating it and the game dies, which I don't see happening anytime soon. But I'm thinking to have the schedule's not permanent. It's subject to change. I might make it so that I have this series Monday and Wednesday. I have the series with Code Tuesday and Thursday, and that means it's Minecraft Monday through Thursday, which is 4 Minecraft videos a week, and then that leaves Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for me to do other games, like perhaps Friday will be, I don't know, something random, like a random PC game like Binding of Isaac or something of that sort, and then Saturday will be console, or maybe Friday and Saturday will be console videos. Now when I say console videos, I basically mean games other than Minecraft, because obviously there's numerous console games that can be played. And then Sundays we'll dedicate to live streaming. And now the games that I'm going to stream on Sunday are always basically what you guys want to see. A lot of times it's Minecraft. It'll be like busy work on this world, because there are some of you out there that do enjoy seeing it, while others of you find it quite boring. And I kind of agree with both sides. But if I can stream it and entertain some of you guys while I do it, it's better than just doing it off camera, in my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think before I release an official video about the schedule. I think it's pretty solid, in my opinion. It's pretty fair. I mean, it basically means daily videos. And I don't believe I'm going to start it this week. It's obviously already Tuesday. I got a little bit thrown off by having MLK Day off yesterday. But maybe next week. I'd like to, if I'm going to start a full schedule on my channel, I'll probably keep uploading like I have been for the next 2 weeks. That way I can stock up on videos and be well prepared to have videos go out every day. That way if I'm ever in a bind, I won't be in trouble, because the way I do things now, I basically record videos the day I upload them. The earliest I'll get them done is the night before, like I'm doing now. I'm recording this Tuesday night at 10 o'clock p.m. and this is probably going to go out tomorrow at noon. Well, it's definitely going to go out tomorrow at noon. And I haven't even had time to record with code this week. So I'd like to start stockpiling videos. That way I at least have the next week or two covered for the new schedule. That way everything else I record is just more and more ahead, which is kind of difficult for this series because I do like to take your suggestions, but it just means that I'll get to your suggestions probably 2 or 3 episodes after you send them in, which I don't think is a problem because, you know, overall we still get to them, which is important. Alright, now that we've gotten that done, we have plenty of supplies here. The only thing that's really been frustrating me about this is the fact that it's kind of irritating, all the snowballs that I've been getting, I must be honest. It's not exactly something that I want clogging up my inventory. But what I'm going to do here, guys, I'm going to have a cutscene. I'm going to do a little bit of work on this. I believe I'm going to route this somewhere through here, make just a slight turn in the path, and continue it along this way. I'm going to bring it as far back here as I can comfortably go, and then we're going to be taking the left-hand turn, going a little bit diagonal towards there, and then we're eventually going to be making the bridge over. I can't promise that we'll get to all of that today, but that is where the cutscene shall leave us. So I'm going to get going on that, and I will see you guys in just a second. Alright guys, well I've made a pretty considerable amount of progress here. It actually takes a lot longer than it might seem. I know it only seems like we came a little bit, but as promised, I made this little turn here, which kind of seems ridiculous, but I want to make sure we have room between all the obstacles in between us. I've been leaving basically a block between the ice, and then obviously with 2 blocks here. However, I just wanted to mention that I've been making these little places where I've been putting torches, and these are going to be where the street lamps go. I'm going to have one there. I'm not exactly sure where this is going to go because I've been having them 1 block away from where this main outer darker wood branch goes, or I don't know what you would call that, the border. That seems appropriate. But so this one will go here, but on these I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. I think what I'll probably end up doing is I'll have it here. I'll put this here to make it look normal, but what I'll do is I'll have a piece of glowstone. It's kind of hard to say, but the glowstone, like if this is where the fence is, the glowstone will be like this. That way it's kind of like a corner post, and I think that will end up looking the best. I'm not going to put any on that corner simply because we have that glowstone so close there, but that's probably what I will do here. Either that or I could put it here, which might not look too terrible. It kind of actually is more symmetrical with that. Yeah, I guess that works. Okay, so we'll put one here, and those will be the corner deal as well. I have 2 here, just like we have at that step up there, and this is where they will go up a level. This is going to be continued on this way, and then I believe we're going to actually, rather than going right to the center of the tree farm, which I understand would look pretty cool, but it's kind of impractical with the lava here, and we have to make a lot more turns. I think what we're going to do is this aisle right to the left of the tree farm. There's a lot of open land, and I feel like that would be a really good place to have the bridge land and then possibly build like a mini little storage area there for all the tree supplies, like extra axes and stuff. So that brings us just a couple more blocks, and then basically a straight shot between here. We're going to fill this in with dirt, and we're going to make the bridge over here. And I think that will be good. However, I don't believe I'm going to do that in this episode. I've been trying to keep these a little bit shorter, not because I don't want to give you guys a lot of content, but because I'd rather me upload them more often and for you guys to be able to have the time to watch through an entire episode, kind of keep your guys' attention when it's, you know, 20 minutes as opposed to 30. So we are making some good progress, and I was looking during the nighttime up from the tower, and it's really gonna look incredible once all this, what seems like barren, you know, snowy wasteland, when it's all filled in with street lights and elegant pathways, it's really going to start looking incredible. And before I end it here, I'd like to come up to the top of this tower and kind of show you guys what my future plans are along with the path and buildings that I plan on doing here, because I plan on making this a whole little village, and it's slowly but surely starting to take shape, and I think it's going to look very, very awesome. Excuse the noise of the annoying nether portal. Anyway, so as you can see here, we're starting to build this first path, and that's going to stretch out quite some distance across there. But, you know, the tree farm's far away. Now, what I plan on doing is having this path be kind of like a box around this lake here. So we're going to have it extend this way. I'm going to cover up this ravine because I've fallen down that so many times. Now, what I plan on doing with this is I plan on having this go out, and I'd like to continue it and connect it to the double skeleton spawner we have over there. That will create quite the big box, and that's going to kind of encompass this land that we are going to use here to build other stuff. I'd like to have official farms for the cows. I would like to... there's more buildings that I'd like to build that probably aren't necessary, but that will look cool to kind of make this area look nicer. And I plan on planting some trees just for the simple fact of making things look nice and not to grow them like we have over there. But that's the plan for this area. I've never worked a lot in a full snow biome and tried to make it look like a nice village, but I think if we can pull off kind of like the snowy, you know, like ski resort type style, it'll look nice. So got big plans for this series. We're only 23 episodes into it, and we'll see where it takes us. So I want to thank you all for watching. I've really enjoyed this episode. I think we're getting some good progress on it, and I'm pretty proud of it. Anyways, I want to thank you again for watching. Leave a like if you'd like to unlock a bonus episode. I think we're going to shoot for 50. You'll see it in the description. But regardless, I appreciate the support. I love the comments. I love how many messages I'm getting on Twitter now. I'm so happy to see you guys starting to be active on there. It makes my day. Other than that, guys, I will see you all next time. Have a fantastic day. Peace.